Dembele uncertain on Barca future. Rio has a plan for United. Bayern plan Champions League comeback. Sevilla's title charges on, and a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, Ousmane Dembele has said he's a little bit unsure about his future at the club, although he is happy. The French winger's contract runs out in 2022, which is next summer, and of course, as we've spoken about so many times before, in fact, you can find a video about it right here, discussing the players who have their contract expiring next summer. There's a big decision to be made this summer by Barcelona. They obviously don't want to lose him on a free next year, that goes without saying, and if they're not really too keen on keeping him, they may as well make a move and try to sell him this summer to at least get a bit of money from him. The reason that he's unsure is because, well, he's come out and said that there is no new contract on the table. He doesn't know the new president well enough, and there have been no talks as of yet. Surely this is a little bit concerning. Like, I know the new Barcelona president came in and he had a lot to deal with. I mean, there's keeping Messi, there's buying players for the future, there's tying other contracts down, and there's the ridiculous amount of debt that Barcelona are in as well. So he's got a few other things on his plate to deal with at the moment, but the form and the potential of Ousmane Dembele cannot be neglected. Even if he wasn't playing that well, which I think he is, he's had quite a resurgence since returning of injury at the beginning of the year. Even if he wasn't playing it that well, the fact they shelled out nearly 135 million euros to Dortmund for him a few years ago, to then lose him on a free would just be the biggest loss of all time. Now that is pretty much unheard of. I've no doubt that Barcelona will go ahead and try and time down to a new deal, but if they don't move soon, it looks like Juventus could be the ones interested. At the moment, Juve have got Federico Chiesa doing bits out on the wing, but that's pretty much it. Douglas Costa's future looks to be away from the Allianz. We have no idea where Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be next season, so maybe, just maybe, Ousmane Dembele could actually fit in Turin. I'll be the first to say I didn't even think the likes of the Arthur Pjanic swap deal would happen, but then that went ahead and happened, so who knows? Maybe Ousmane Dembele could find himself in Serie A sooner rather than later. Moving on though, and United legend Rio Ferdinand has got a bit of an alternative plan to Manchester United shelling out ridiculous money for the likes of Erling Haaland or Harry Kane. And his plan is go to Everton and bring in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now, on paper, this makes complete sense, not only because there's a history of Manchester United picking off the best players from smaller teams in the Premier League, no disrespect to Everton, United are a bigger team at the moment, certainly going to be with Champions League football next season, it looks like it, but also, even though he's very important to Everton, and he's had a fantastic season, he's not going to cost as much as Kane or Haaland. He is just as important to Everton as those two other players are to their respective clubs, but there's just no way that they're going to be able to hold out for a ridiculous price. Like I said before, if Everton say, right, Calvert-Lewin's going to be worth over 100 million, then they'll probably just go and buy Kane or Haaland. So it's not really going to make much sense, but I don't see that happening. And at the moment, Everton are on a bit of a bad run. It's 5 games without a victory for Carlo Ancelotti's men, and I'm not saying that this small run is going to be enough to tempt Dominic Calvert-Lewin to leave. But should they sink any further down the table, not really have many European prospects this season or for any season in the upcoming campaigns, maybe he could be tempted to go. The reason that United are looking at a new striker is because Edinson Cavani's future, the club is still not completely clear, with reports that he's going to be considering a move to Boca at the end of the season. And that's Anthony Martial. He's injured. He's missing the rest of the season, and it means that he will finish the 2020-2021 campaign with a grand total of 4 Premier League goals. Not exactly what United are hoping for from a centre forward when they're going for the title and the Champions League title as well. They're not going for them this season, they just in general hope to be back in the conversation for those 2 major trophies. But moving on, and talking of the Champions League, tonight we obviously have 2 huge matches. No disrespect to Chelsea versus Porto, that one seems to be pretty much done, barring a ridiculous Porto comeback from the 2-0 victory in the first leg for Chelsea. So many people will be turning in to watch PSG against Bayern Munich. Last week, honestly, one of, if not the most entertaining games of the season. Bayern Munich could have scored so many more if they'd only have a certain Polish striker up front, but they didn't. And even though Lewandowski has returned to training, they still will not have him available for the second leg tonight. With PSG leading 3-2, Thomas Müller has been speaking about how they know about Neymar and Mbappe being so dangerous on the counter-attack, but also he's hinted at the fact they're a little lazy defensively and they're hoping they can use that to their advantage. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what every team does. They're like, Neymar and Mbappe aren't going to track back. We can get him. We're only going to be attacking against 9 men. And then as soon as you leave a bit of space, one ball over the top, those 2 away, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. as proven in the first leg. Manager Hansi Flick has said that his side are planning a mini comeback, and it's going to have to be a ridiculous one. Even though I'm hoping for an early Bayern Munich goal to make the game really, really interesting, I can't see them going through. I mean, I was the one who said I thought they were going to win it. That was until they came across this rampant PSG side. And obviously, things change in football. For tonight, the game may even be a draw, but I think PSG are going to go through. And of course, in the other game, Chelsea are going to make it through as well. Moving on then, and we mentioned this yesterday, we're talking about La Liga's title race being blown wide open because of the victory for Real Madrid. The draw for Atletico Madrid against Real Betis. But we were not forgetting about Sevilla, who did the business last night. Only just. In what was a 2-out-of-4 game against Celta Vigo, they managed to win 4-3 with a couple of late goals. Papu Gomez, remember all his amazing games at Atlanta, hadn't done so much at Sevilla, but he scored the winner last night. And now, with 7 games to go, they are 6 points behind Atletico Madrid, and things are getting so exciting. Can you imagine after all this talk? Obviously, Barca and Real up there in the title conversation. Atletico Madrid being, what was it, like 10 points clear in December or January? Pretty far ahead, looking nailed on to take home a La Liga title. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 4th place Sevilla, who looked just happy to be qualifying for the Champions League, are suddenly in the midst of a very late title charge. In a few weeks' time, I think it's May the 8th and May the 9th. There are some stunning matches to look forward to. Sorry, forgive me. It's actually 8 games to go, not 7 games to go. I keep getting that one wrong. There's so many title races to talk about. Anyway, that weekend of the 8th and 9th of May sees Real Madrid take on Sevilla and Barcelona face Atletico in what is a ridiculously massive weekend for the future of La Liga and could go some way to deciding who will be taking home the title. This is one of the closest title races we've seen anywhere in Europe in the last few seasons. Anyway, moving on, and lastly, to a quick round up of the rest of the day's news that you might have missed. And after another brilliant performance in midfield, Brighton midfielder Yves Bissouma is still attracting interest from quite a few clubs in the Premier League, including Arsenal. Elsewhere, and as expected, because nobody ran against him for presidency, Florentino Perez will yet again be the Real Madrid president for yet another term, all the way up until 2025. Maybe a few new Galactico signings are incoming. As for Jerome Boateng, with his contract expiring at the end of the season, Tottenham are the latest club to be apparently interested in his services. And last night, VAR went from bad to worse to absolutely terrible, as when drawing lines and disallowing a goal for West Brom, they decided to draw the lines and pin the accusations on Carl Bartley, even though it was Diagne was the one who was involved in the goal. It's unbelievable. I can't be bothered to talk about it anymore. VAR is just getting worse and worse and worse. That's all from me for today, though. Make sure you check out everything else we've got going on. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.